Welcome to the Promethean podcast. I'm your host, Xavier Walter. This is a review of the March edition of the Promethean. You can find the complete online edition at uws-promethean.com. I'd like to give a big thank you to our producers Daniel Young and Carter Lansdale for helping make this happen. The Promethean was lucky enough to cover the event over at the Thirsty Pagan as Governor Evers came to Superior to talk about a solution for lowering costs in the Superior community. In his budget proposal, it includes nearly $2 billion in tax relief. Community members from Superior attended, like officials and business owners, as they all sat around a table enjoying Thirsty Pagan pizza and discussed the proposal, allowing them to give their feedback directly to the governor. Evers also visited the city of Wausau earlier that day to discuss his proposal with community members and stakeholders. Here's more from Governor Evers at the event.
Yeah, basically to talk about issues of, what we're trying to do in our budget totally, but more importantly, how our budget will actually reduce financial impediments that impact people across the state. And so I think we have good balance. I think we're spending some money where we need to spend it, and I think we're reducing some of the things that impact some of our poorest families. And so I think it's good balance, and I heard that today, and this group especially talked about all sorts of things on that we need to be helpful around, but they also understood that the issue about food security is really important. We have some things in the budget there, but we're also reducing costs especially for middle class Wisconsinites by $2 billion. That's a huge cut, and it's enough of an arena that everybody will be helped by this. So we think it's a good balance. So I didn't hear any pushback on that. I did hear to make sure that we get our budget passed around some things around our schools, and we're going to work as hard as we can and encourage them to contact their legislators to get it done.
Then, on February 20th, UWS held and celebrated Trio Day on campus. This event celebrated the programs Upward Bound, Student Support Services, and McNair. Trio programs are federal support and outreach programs designed to help students from disadvantaged backgrounds thrive in higher education settings. Lunch was featured for attendees, as well as speeches from past and present directors. The event was closed out with speaker Angie Hugdahl, current director of Upward Bound, who spoke about the program and recognized those who were involved. For more information about Trio, visit the Trio programs page on the UW Superior website. UWS held another successful career and internship fair recently. The Link Center hosted a pre-fair event that had 4 different stations. The first station was getting to know just a little bit more about the fair, with the following station being called Dress for Success, which allowed students to see samples of professional clothing, as well as going to the career closet and getting free professional clothes to wear during the event. The final 2 stations were to help students connect with employers at the fair through resume building and business card reviews, as well as networking. At the fair, booths were crowded with students learning more about the company alongside with internships and other career opportunities. Occasionally, UWS students have to deal with uncertainty when it comes to the weather. One day it could be 50 degrees and sunny, and then the next day it could be snowing and below zero. For students that walk to campus from Ross Hawks, other housing situations, or even from the YU to Holden Fine Arts Center, it can be a struggle for students to walk around campus. The layers of snow and ice on the sidewalks make it longer for students to walk back and forth from class and housing. UWS students can still adapt to the weather well. Now moving over to sports, women's basketball completed the redemption season by winning the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference tournament. After falling short last year, reigning UMAC Player of the Year Elise Bessinen and other key returners were ready to help push the team forward to their goal. The final score of the championship game was 53-47 over Northwestern, this being UW Superior's first UMAC title since the 2017-2018 season. During the game, Bessinen continued to be the queen of the court, winning tournament MVP and scoring 28 points in the championship game. Coach Emily Carpenter added more to her trophy cabinet as she has now won the UMAC championship as both a player and a coach. Congratulations to everyone involved. The dominance of Yellow Jacket sports continued in the MWC, but this time in the Fieldhouse, as the men's track and field team went from an 8-time defending champion to a 9-time defending champion in indoor. Moving over to the women's side, unfortunately, they were unable to repeat the dominance that they've been putting up as of recently, finishing third behind Northwestern and Crown, but still had some incredible individual performances across the board. Both the men's and women's track and field team were able to send some athletes to the Ripon final qualifier that took place on March 7th. The UWS men's hockey season got cut shorter than expected after a heartbreaking loss to WIAC opponents UW River Falls. After claiming the WIAC regular season championship, high expectations were held for the team looking to add more to their trophy case in the postseason, but after winning Game 1 and dropping Game 2, the series was then decided by a 20-minute minigame. River Falls scored with 1 minute remaining in the minigame to break UWS players' and fans' hearts after a truly incredible season. To close, here are some other updates in Yellow Jacket sports. Elise Bessenden, as previously mentioned, has capped off her incredible Yellow Jacket career by achieving over 1,000 points. Softball had a total of 6 games over 2 weekends to kick off their season, achieving 4 wins and 2 losses before heading on down to Florida. Thank you so much for listening to the Promethean March podcast. I'm your host, Xavier Walter, with producer Carter Lansdale. This was a review of the March edition of the Promethean newspaper. You can find the complete online edition at uws-promethean.com. You can also find out more on the Promethean social media channels on X, Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening.